Good morning, students. Let me today introduce you a new topic in business studies. Chapter 5, that is emerging modes of business. Students, let me tell you that this business world is dynamic in nature. That means everything is changing, and the businessmen are adopting these changes and applying in their business to smoothly conduct their business and efficiently operate their activities. In this cutthroat competition, if the business need to survive, then obviously it will be required to apply these new business techniques in their business for smooth and efficiently conducting their business. These radical changes or the latest developments which are now applied in the business are said to be the emerging modes of business. In other words, the latest trends, latest developments, the latest procedures of doing business are said to be the emerging modes of business. And in this respect, students, let me tell you, one of the most important discovery is the computer and the computer network with the help of the internet. Now, we can connect each and every business very well. The business has tremendously changed due to this networking system. We find the application of this networking system in different aspects of the business. Now, therefore, let me, student, first discuss with you the what you understand by this new way of doing business. Now, when the electron business is being carried with the help of the electronic devices, it is said to be the e-business. So first of all, you must understand what do you understand by e-business. When the business activities are conducted with the help of electronic devices like computer network and by means of internet, it is called to be e-business. So once more I tell you, when the business is being conducted by the application of the computer network with the help of internet, it is said to be e-business. Now, in other words, we can say that when the business transactions are operated with the help of the electronic data interchange and other means of telecommunications instead of paper-based transactions, it is said to be the e-business or electronic business. So, students, do remember when the business is being conducted by way of operating the computer network with the help of internet, it is known as your e-business. Now students, first of all, let me discuss with you the difference between e-business and your traditional business. It is very important to distinguish traditional business with the e-business. Now, firstly, when I am discussing the traditional business, try to follow here. When I am discussing the differentiation, when I am discussing the difference between the traditional business and e-business, we try to distinguish with some points of distinction. Take first, that is the physical place. Now, when I am telling about the physical place, physical place is a must in case of traditional business. Without physical place, traditional business cannot be conducted. No physical place is required in case of e-business. E-business can be conducted from anywhere. Second, we go for legal formalities. Legal formalities. Now, for starting traditional business, lots of legal formalities are required to be observed. We require to obtain license, we require to obtain certificate of incorporation, we require to obtain registration certificates. Then we can start the traditional business. In case of e-business, less legal formalities are required to observe to start e-business. A computer and a computer network is essential for starting the e-business. Third point we have, that is the physical contact. Physical contact. The buyers and sellers must be physically present for business transaction in case of your traditional business. But in case of e-business, no physical presence of buyers and sellers is essential. That means there may not be any contact between the buyers and sellers. Next we go for, that is investment. In order to start traditional business, huge amount of investment is required, both in case of fixed capital as well as in working capital of the business. But in case of your e-business, the amount of investment is very less in case of your fixed capital as well as in case of your working capital. Next point we go is the operating cost. Operating and maintenance cost in case of your traditional business is very high. But operating and maintenance cost in case of your e-business is much lower. Next point we go, that is internal communication. action. Now, communication in case of traditional business flows from the top level to the middle level to the lower level. That means it follows an order or a hierarchical way of communication. But in case of e-business, communication takes place from different aspects. Communication may arise from any aspect. Communication takes place from anywhere. Okay, it does not follow any order. Next thing is we go for, that is the risk involved. Now, in traditional business, the risk involved in business transaction is much less because of the presence of what? Because of the presence of both the buyers and sellers. In case of e-business, the risk is very high. Because of what? The risk is high because there is no physical contact between the buyers and sellers. Next it goes is nature of human capital. Now, traditional business requires skilled, semi-skilled, as well as unskilled workers for conducting such type of business. Whereas e-business require professional and technically skilled personnel to conduct the e-business. Next we go for advertisement. Traditional business generally advertise their products and services through newspaper, radio, or television. But in case of e-business, advertisement is generally done by the help of email, messages, or with the help of the website. Now, in case of the prices of the next point of distinction is prices of goods and services. The prices of goods and services in case of traditional business is much higher because of the presence of the middleman. Whereas the prices of the goods and services in case of e-business is much lower because of the absence of the middleman. Next we goes is that personal touch. So since there is a contact between the buyers and sellers, therefore traditional business maintain a personal touch with the customers. Now, the personal touch in case of e-business is not possible because as there is no direct contact between the buyers and sellers. Next point we go is that physical examination of goods and services. Yes, physical examination of goods is possible in case of traditional business, but physical examination is not at all possible in case of your e-business. And lastly, the business hours. Now, traditional business, the businessman operates for a fixed or limited time period. So hence the customers can be contacted for a limited time period. Whereas in e-business, the businessman can contact its customer round the clock, all the time. So these are the major differences between your traditional business and your e-business. I think I am able to clarify the difference between the traditional business and e-business. Now, next, let me student, let me explain to you the scope of e-business means the application of e-business. Yes, nowadays we find the application of e-business as is wide. Now, e-business can be applied in almost all types of business activities. It can be applied in case of production, it can be applied in case of marketing, it can be applied in case of finances. Not only it can be applied in business activities, but also it can be applied in managerial activities like planning, organizing, staffing, directing, and controlling. Students, it is not only now limited in business activities, but we find this application in hospital management, in hotel industry, in tourism industry, and even in school management. Students, you must also know that in this pandemic situation, that is, we are conducting online classes or we are conducting online schools because of these e-activities, electronic activities. So the scope of e-business is very, very wide. Okay. But still, I will be discussing the scope of e-business in respect of the parties concerned. Now, in respect of the parties concerned, when I am going to classify the e-business, it can be classified into four. What are the basic four classification of e-business according to the parties involved? We have firstly, we have here that is business to business commerce. Secondly, we have your business to customers, that is B2C. First of all, we have B2B, second one we have B2C. Thirdly, we have intra-commerce, and fourthly, we have your C2C commerce, that is customers to customers. So let me explain each of them. What is this business to business commerce? What is this business to customers commerce, etc. Let me start with first business to business commerce. Now, when activities are being carried between two business firms electronically with the help of the computer network, then it is called it to be B2B commerce or business to business commerce. So, when the business activities of two or more firms are carried with the help of electronic devices, then it is called it to be what? Then it is called to be your business to business commerce. Suppose, for example, ABC Company Limited places an order of purchasing raw materials from XYZ Limited by means of computer network, then such business is said to be carried between two business firms, or such business is said to be B2B commerce. Now, in case of B2B commerce, the activities are not only involved in case of monetary transaction, but in B2B commerce, non-monetary transactions like your commercial negotiations, inviting tenders, collaborations, etc. are also being carried out. Now, B2B commerce has incorporated certain advantages. What are the advantages we find from the business to business commerce? Firstly, is that it gives the business firm a wide choice to select the suppliers which are offering quality goods at reasonable prices. So it enables the business firm to select the supplier from among many suppliers. Secondly, the business firm can directly enter into contact with another business firm without the help of the middleman. So the middleman is eliminated. Moreover, thirdly, there is a sharing of information and document much faster and speedier, and hence the important decisions can be taken very fast. So we find these are the advantages of the B2B commerce. Students, let me tell you, in this business world, B2B commerce predominates over other commercial activities. So here we see B2B commerce, we have the different where the interaction, the businessman can interact with the different suppliers. When it is interacting with the business is interacting with the different suppliers, then that is called the B2B commerce. Next, let us discuss business customer. That is when the business firm are electronically interacting with the customers, then it is called it to be your business to customers. B2C, that is business to customers. Electronically, business is operated to give the benefit to the customers, then that is called into your interaction with the customers, that is called into your B2C commerce. Now, different activities takes place between the business and customers. Like we have your what we call it to be for online marketing or online ticket booking, or it is that is online. We have your when we are withdrawing money from the ATM. Then these are these are the examples of what? These are the examples of business electronically. It is interacting with the customers. So here also we find certain benefits of the business to customers. The first benefit is that is to provide to the customers better service facilities at a cheaper cost. So it is the business which is trying to provide the better service facilities to its customers at a cheaper cost. Not only that, we can also sometimes conduct online surveys to know the level of customer satisfactions. Next is that, what is that? If we want to provide certain informations, then or certain information relating to products or relating to the services, then can be easily done with the help of business to customers. Electronically, this is possible. Not only that, we can also say that, what is that? When the business can also then give us what facilities is that? with the help of the toll-free number, the customers can also raise different kind of questions, or they can complain for the grievances in case of business to customers. That is B2C. So when the business is interacting with the customers. Thirdly, we have your intra-e-commerce. What is intra-e-commerce? When the business firms when the various departments of the business firms are interacting with one another, and the employees of the organization are interacting with one another electronically, then that is said to be your intra-e-commerce. Suppose there are purchase department, marketing department, finance department. So they are sharing informations, they are sharing reports, they are communicating among themselves, then such activities is called it to be your intra-e-commerce. That means when the interaction is taking place within the departments of the organization or within the employees of the organization. Like what can be there? That is communications between the department, sharing of information, sharing of reports. These are actually takes place in the intra-e-commerce. The merits, what we can say, that is firstly, that is we can able to share information very faster among the various departments of the organization. Not only we are sharing the information among the various departments of the organization, the different reports, the daily reports, that can be also sent to the managers by way of email or any other modes in case of intra-e-commerce. The intra-e-commerce helps in maintaining the inventory management and also the cash management of the organization. The inventory management helps to know what the inventory management helps to know the stock records at any moment, and cash management helps to know the cash position of the business at any moment. Now, fourthly, we have the most important, that is customer to customer commerce, that is C2C. That is when electronically transaction takes place between the customers. Actually, there is no ready market for this kind of business, for dealing with customer to customers. So this C2C provides a marketing scope between the customers. Selling of second-hand goods, selling of old goods, or even antique articles, selling of antique articles, or sometimes informing the customers about the fraudulent product, fraudulent supplier. These generally takes place in case of your C2C commerce. Now, OLX.com, Quicker.com, eBay.com are some of the websites through which the customers can interact with the other customers or sell their second-hand or their old products. PayPal is another way of making payment by the customers in case of your C2C commerce. Now, it has also certain benefits. What are the benefits we find? Firstly, there is no ready market for selling old products and a second-hand product between the customers. So C2C market provides such scope. Now, sometimes what happens, that various informations about the customers can be shared in case of your C2C commerce. Thirdly, what is that we can get is that from C2C commerce, that is some warnings or alerts may be given by the customers relating to the fraudulent suppliers or in case of your deceiving products. So there we find these are the advantages of your C2C commerce. So while discussing the scope of e-business, you must remember the different types of electronically commerce which are at present at time. We have firstly B2B commerce, that is business to business commerce. We have having the B2C, that is business to customers commerce. We are having intra commerce, and finally we have your, that is the C2C commerce. Now, I will end my topic with the last, that is discussion, that is the differentiate between e-business and e-commerce. And when we are going to differentiate, we are going to study the difference between e-commerce and e-business. E-commerce actually refers to only physical buying and selling of goods electronically and making payment for it. Whereas e-business refers to all kinds of business activities which are conducted for doing the business. So in very simple, e-commerce, the scope of e-commerce is very, very narrow, whereas the scope of e-business is very wide. Moreover, e-commerce is a subset. Okay, this is e-business. E-commerce is actually a subset of e-business. This is e-commerce, and this is your e-business. So, e-commerce generally deals with placing orders for the goods, purchasing goods, selling goods, and receiving of payments. Okay. So, with this, students, let me get my topic, that is the emerging modes of business. In my next class, I am going to discuss with you the features, advantages, and the disadvantages of your e-business. Okay, thank you.